everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. Thank you for joining me again for another live Q&A, or I think we're going to start calling it community chat. I think I like that better. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Angela. I am a full-time voiceover artist and audiobook narrator, and my channel is dedicated to those of you just getting started out in this wonderful world of voiceover and audiobook narration. And through my channel, I share with you some tips and tricks and techniques, things that I do every day in my own voiceover business. And we all come together in these weekly, I think we're going to call it community chats now. If you're not new here, then you know every week we have a new poll, which it looks like may not be working today for whatever reason. So if the poll is not working for you, because there are 0 votes, and I've seen a couple of notes about it not working, just put in the comments what your response is. And today's poll is so unprepared. Today's poll is, what is or was your approach to building your voiceover business? And the responses available are, did you just jump in and learn along the way? Or did you research the heck out of it and build everything out first based on what you've learned during your research before you started really recording anything, right? I think for me, I was a jump in and learn along the way kind of a person. And that really fits kind of what I've been saying for the past year or so is the ready, fire, aim approach, right? You ready? I'm going to do it. I'm going to fire, and then I'm going to aim as I go along, right? As I learn, I'm going to modify my target in terms of where I'd like to go or what I want to be, what I want to do, refine my technique, get training, those kinds of things. So that's sort of the ready, fire, aim approach. That's kind of how I took it. But I know that through being where I am for the last few years and working and meeting a lot of new people who are interested in getting started in voiceover, I've learned a lot of people are not that way. They want to research everything, read every art. And granted, I did that too, but I mean, to an extent, I didn't get stuck in that phase, the procrastinating phase, perhaps, because it's really easy to get stuck there. But anywho, so I've met a lot of people that research the heck out of everything and then want to build out the profiles, want to, research the websites, and all of that stuff is good to do anyway. But did you do that first, or did you kind of just jump in and then build all that stuff along the way, I guess is what I'm saying. It looks like the poll's not working because there's still 0 votes. But anywho, please share with the community what you did or what you're planning to do or where you currently are right now. Did you jump in, or are you researching the heck out of it first? So that is today's poll, because I'm curious, because building your business is, and what this is, I mean, don't mistake that at all. This is a business. You have to treat it as such, right? You have to have that CEO mindset that we talked about a month or so ago in the 4 pillars of success. You have to have the mindset that this is a business and where's my clicker, and treat it as such, right? All right, so let's go over to the comments and see who's first in. Who's first in? Joya. Morning, Joya. Joya says, I assured that I had the fortitude and abilities before starting. Then I set a goal of when to start before collecting equipment and jumping in head first. I like that. But I've met a lot of people that, I mean, that's usually one of the first questions. Do I have the ability and or fortitude to do this first before they even bother getting started? And I think that it's not a silly question. I don't think it's a silly question. I think it's a valid question, but I think you're not going to know if you do unless you get started, right? Because ultimately your clients will tell you what sort of lane you should be in. Your clients are going to tell you what your money voice is. as we call money voice, the voice that you're paid for most often. But you're never going to know if you have to challenge yourself, right? You don't know if you're going to have the ability and or fortitude to do it unless you do it. Some people like Joya said, I'm confident in my abilities and fortitude and I'm just going to go. And I think I was sort of, whether I was right or wrong, I was kind of in that same lane. I was like, I'm ready. I'm going to do it. Let's just kind of learn as we go along. Awesome. Eric, what's up, Eric? Good morning. Eric says, I watched a video on ACX about how to set up a home studio and jumped into the deep end from there. I don't have the patience to do a lot of research. I did some, but much like you, I don't have the patience to do. I wanted to know enough about where to start and what to do and what I needed, and to sort of get an idea of where this could go, how far it could go. But once you understand, because I don't know why we never think of it before, but once you understand how much voiceover is needed, I mean, if you think about it, everything with a voice that you listen to on a day-to-day basis, more than likely is a voice actor, right? Or a narrator of some sort. Same difference. So once you realize that, you go, oh my gosh, there is so much need for this. I want to be in there. I want to do that. Isaac. Morning, Isaac. Isaac says, I started with an online course in VO, a little PVC, some moving blankets, and a Scarlet solo. And now my first audiobook is going through its final review. Congratulations. That's awesome. Sweet. Good job, Isaac. Sean says, I just voted and it canceled my vote. Jeez. Oh, 2020 again. Yeah, I don't know what is going on with that poll. It's still 0 votes. So it must not be working today. I don't know why. But if you could just put into the comments, you don't have to type out the whole response. Just, something like, I jumped in. I'm a jump in. I'm team jump in. Or I'm team research. Right? We could do it that way, I suppose. Adapt and overcome, my friends. Don't let anything get you down or hold you back. Right? We will overcome. Hat Powser is here. Good morning. Good morning, Hat. Good to see you. Sean says, my wife bought me a $40 USB toner podcasting mic. I downloaded Audacity, put the computer and mic on a table in my clothes closet, and went for it. Good for you. Much like you, that's kind of how I went. Grabbed my laptop, grabbed a Blue Yeti, those big Blue Yeti microphones, and then I went into my dining room on a glass table. See how much we don't know in the beginning? And of course, there was tons of echo, but none of that stuff crosses your mind because you're only thinking about, I'm a narrator. I'm doing it. I'm doing what I want to do. But at least you had the wherewithal to understand that you needed to be in a closed closet. It's awesome. Pamela says, good muddy. Yeah, you got a lot of Hillary, right? Wasn't that the hurricane's name, Hillary? We didn't see much rain here. Just a little bit of spittling last night. Not as much as we were forewarned that we would get. So I've seen the news. Muddy and muggy and soggy. How much rain did you get where you are, Pam? Maria Vita. Hi, Angela. Hi, Maria. How are you? Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to you. Kelsey V, that cute little kitty. Hey, Kelsey, how you doing? Hey, everybody, Angela. I took a beginner's course, did some research, and then jumped in and am learning along the way. Also, the poll ain't working for me. Yeah, I don't know why that is. I didn't do anything different with it this morning. Technology. What can I say? That is awesome. At what should we share what courses we took? Just out of curiosity. And again, this community chat is mostly for those of you getting started or maybe dipping your toes into the idea of starting this new endeavor. So we're getting together to talk about things that we did in the beginning to hopefully, spark a little, to ignite a little bit of an idea or something in you. And then also for those of us that maybe been in this for a while, maybe somebody says something that you just, oh my God, that's a great idea. I don't know why I didn't do that. And maybe it's applicable to your situation. So I really like these chats for many reasons. So everybody share your experiences so we can all learn from each other. Facebook user, this is Colette. Good morning, Colette. How are you? Dylan is here. Dylan is a new platinum member. We will welcome him warmly to the group. Good morning from the broom closet. I watched reviews on mics and DIY booths and ordered everything. I watched a ton of YouTube videos and I'm learning as I go. That's kind of how I did it. Just jumped in. Maria Vita says you have my daughter's name. Well, your daughter has my name. I don't meet a whole lot of Angelas. I never have in my 40 something years on this planet. Haven't met a whole lot of Angelas, so I guess that's a good thing. Phil says, "Hey Angela, hey Phil. How you doing, Phil? Good to see you." Facebook user, this is Colette says, "When it's working, where is the poll?" The poll is on YouTube. It is a YouTube poll, and it is apparently not working today. So you may more than likely not see it on Facebook because it's visible on YouTube. Maria says, research and more research. Yes, just be careful, Maria, because as we say here on my channel, that if you do a lot of research, it's really easy to get stuck in the what? The procrastinating stage, and we don't want to do that. And for those of you that are new to this channel, procrastinating is when you are using research as maybe something to hold you back. It's something to prevent you from moving forward, from actually stepping out into the foray, right? It's the ideology that you need to learn something before you can move forward, or you need this piece of equipment before you can move forward. It's whatever it is, you need more of it before you can move forward, right? And that's very easy to fall into. Just be sure that you don't do that. Research, yes, great research. I did it. I know most people do, but don't get stuck there. Make sure that you take a step forward. Yes, Phil says research first. Yes, I agree. Because, that's just, it's just part of being human, I suppose. We're not just going to go, oh, voiceover, let's go do it and buy a bunch of stuff and go. I don't know a whole lot of people that have done that. You got to do a little bit of research first, I think, at the very least, right? Caesar. Hi, Caesar. Oh, hi, Angela. Answer the poll, research and build. In fact, sometimes I hype myself up to jump in and learn, but go back to research and build. These days, I'm more learn as I go. And I think either way is good as long as you're moving forward, right? So if you research and build, but then move forward and then maybe take a pause on the moving forward part and then continue to research and build, I don't think that's a bad way to go either. Because again, the foundation that you're standing on is going to be very important to keep you moving forward to, the success of your business. If you don't have a solid foundation, and in that foundation, as we talked about in the 4 pillars of success, are, the investment of time, the the mindset, right? There's a lot of these things that you need to build out to stand on the foundation of your business, right? And also, side note, other things that you probably need to consider when you're building this business, because again, it is a business. You also need to consider having a website, right? Because when you start to get onto social media and you have all of these social media platforms for your business where you're sharing content to get noticed, right? You want to have a website to direct the traffic to. So if somebody sees you on social media and wants to learn more about you, because don't get me wrong, casting directors and small businesses, they're on social media just like you every day, looking for 30-second distraction videos. And if they come across yours doing something that's interesting or funny and they like your voice, they like your personality, they're going to go search you out. So if you have your website linked to your social media, that's where they can go to find out more about you, to contact you, to hear you doing actual voiceover or audiobook narration pieces, right? That is a one really great way to get business. And then also another thing to consider in the beginning is having a way to invoice or to collect payment, right? Because all of these platforms that you're going to be working on, ACX, Fiverr, Upwork, voices.com, I mean, Voice 123, I mean, all of them, they're going to have some way to pay you. So if someone does reach out to you on your website and they said, "Hey, I've got this script," and you say, "Okay, great, well, I'm going to send you an invoice for it." You need a way to invoice these people. And I use PayPal Business and I highly recommend it. It's great. It's a fabulous platform. Never had an issue, been with them for years now. But little things like that are going to help you to keep moving forward if you have them already built out in the beginning. Those are just little things to think of, right? And then you can also use that PayPal business account as sort of a way to keep your money separate, right? To keep it separate from your personal expenses. And that way you can start to build that CEO mindset also, is that your business is a separate entity. This is the business's money and this is my money, right? And then as you continue to grow and you start to get your LLC or whatever you just decide to do, and you get your business checking account, you move that money into the business checking account. And then it is two entities now, right? So those are the things that I think that need to be done, or at least looked into in the very beginning, so you have an idea of what to do, if not already built out. Because as things start to get busy, things might begin to snowball quickly, and you'll be glad that you had all of these things in place before that happens. Tangent one. That could be tangent one. Let's try to rein the tangents in. Okay. Skyland says, hello, Skyland. Hello, Angela and beautiful VO community. Yes, the beautiful VO community. My lovely, beautiful family. Hello, everybody. Hat Powser has this little smiley face. Phil says, hey to Joya. Facebook user, this is Colette. She says, jump in and learn what I need as I go along. And it's pretty much how I did it, right? I did a little research first, and then I jumped in and said, okay, I'm going to land this plane. I'm going to build this plane while I'm flying, right? Basically. Ryder Dude. Good morning, Ryder Dude. Good morning, everyone. Joya says, good day. Good day, everyone. Caesar, hello, everyone. I'm eating fruit. What kind of fruit are you eating, Caesar? Come on. We need details. What you eating? Hat Powser says, after procrastinating for over a year, having my equipment for months, and deciding it's too noisy in this apartment to record, I finally gave in and cleared out my bedroom closet, treating it now. Good for you. Good for you. I think, and I hope that you're celebrating that decision. Yeah, it's a little bit of a pain when you have to totally start over. But when you do start over, you have more knowledge. You have more of a foundation to build upon if you have to start over, right? You have more knowledge, you have more insight, you have more skill, most often than not, right? And more knowledge about what to do and how to build it and how to build it out and treat it. So that's great. But I'm glad that you stepped out of the procrastinating stage. I'm proud of you. Good job, Hat Powser. Really, I hope you're celebrating that. That's great. Skyland says, fully jumped in. 1 year in the business now. All right. All right. That's awesome. Good job, Skyland. Celebrate that too. Celebrate every year that you're in. It doesn't matter how much you do it or how little you do voiceover, or how it doesn't matter. Celebrate it. Celebrate the little things. Celebrate all the wins. It's important. It's important. Celebrate everything. Rich is here. Hey, Rich. How you doing? It is too much work not to treat it like a business. It really is. It is a lot of work. But you would be surprised how many people don't realize that this is a business. I mean, it's not just, I mean, you could build it out and make it like a side hustle or a side gig, but I think the longevity of it is going to come really from treating it like a business, not a side hustle. I mean, it could be a side hustle, but eventually it's going to be a business. You guys know what I mean? I'm getting squirrel. Dylan says, the recording side has been easier to learn for me than the business side. ACX is great, but Fiverr and Upwork intimidate me from a customer service aspect. Let me tell you, Dylan, I understand your comment 100%, but you do have to branch out to other places and not just pay to plays. You have to get active on social media. You have to be seen, right? And being seen is getting on to all the pay to plays. And Fiverr and Upwork, namely, those two are freelance marketplaces. So there's more, less barrier to entry than some of the other pay to plays like voices.com, Voice123, Bidalgo, things like that. It's a global freelance marketplace. It's not voiceover specific. So it's a little bit easier to get on there. And there's a lot more people. There's a lot more traffic there. So you're going to have, you're going to be open to more situations that are unsavory. But I mean, really, that goes with being available online at all, right? You're going to have people that are trying you on for, hey, click this link here and do this or that. But in between those, you will have well-meaning clients because there are Fortune 500 companies that use Fiverr and Upwork. They do. And they're there looking for talent for whatever, not just voiceover, but for everything else. There's a lot of big businesses that are using the gig economy. They're embracing the gig economy. So get out there and be part of it. Just be aware that just like anywhere else on social media, anywhere you go, you're going to be, leaving yourself open to potential scammers and trolls and things like that. But what do you do on social media? You just ignore it, move on. Thank you, but no thank you. Okay, report, block, move on, right? Don't let that fear hold you back. Again, never let fear decide your fate. If this is something that you want to do, you're going to have to take the bad with the good. And it's not all bad. Because again, what you see on social media, most of the time we vent about the bad things that are happening to us, not so much the good things. So the bad seems like it far outweighs the good, but that's just not true. Because we just talk about the bad more than we talk about the good, right? So don't let that hold you back. Move forward. You'll be glad you did. Tangent number 2. Kelsey V says, Caesar, yeah, Caesar, what you eating? What you eating, Caesar? Caesar says, I also used to have this unhealthy habit of trying to jump in, then kicking and scolding myself for not being ready or informed, then jump back in, then yell at myself for doing something wrong. Yeah. Yeah, we are a little bit too hard on ourselves at times. And then Rich reiterates with two O's. It's okay. I know what you meant. It's okay. You're right. It is too much work to be not treat it like a business. Hat Powser says, yeah, to Dylan. It's the people stuff that bothers me most too. Afraid of difficult customers and not getting paid. Again, with namely Fiverr and Upwork, those two sites, when an order is placed, they collect the money from the client and they hold it in escrow until it is released to you. Now, you're going to have some situations where the client is trying to get, the order canceled and get their money back and stuff like that. Again, that's just part of doing business. You're going to run into some people like that. But that's not all the time. That's not every client. That's not, again, don't let the bad that you hear outweigh the potential good that is also there. Don't let that stop you. Caesar said, Kelsey V, it's something local. It's called a cotton fruit. What? Thick, sour rind with a sweet, plump, fluffy, juicy flesh. What? Oh my gosh. That sounds amazing. I'm gonna have to look that up now. Everybody look up cotton fruit. I got to see what it looks like. This is Colette. I got a random Facebook ad for a VO class, figured out what basic stuff I needed, and went from there. A random Facebook ad. Interesting. Hmm. Sunny. How you doing, Sunny? I chose option 2, even though I think option 1 is probably better for me. Sort of like being pushed into a cold lake and taking it from there. Yeah, pretty much. How is the poll still? Yeah, it looks like the poll's not working. Oy. Just to remind everybody what we're talking about, the poll today, which doesn't seem to be working on YouTube. The question was, what is or was your approach to building your VO business? Was it more of a jump in and build the airplane as you're flying, learn along the way? Or is it more of a research and then build a solid foundation first, right? Which approach did you take to building this business? And I'm sorry the poll's not working. I don't have any control over it, so I apologize. But you can put your responses into the comments, and we'll just do it that way. Of course, as soon as I clicked away, it took my spot away where I left off. Oh, here we go. Kelsey V. Caesar. Yum. Can't beat a gorgeous piece of fruit. That sounds amazing. Cotton fruit? I have to go look that up now. Brianna Waybright. How you doing, Annie? Researched and practiced for 3 solid months before I ever auditioned for a book. I think that's a good approach, practicing. I practiced by volunteering my time through LibriVox.org. That's where I started, because by volunteering my narration through LibriVox.org, that's pretty much free audiobooks, books that are in the public domain. It's like a free audiobook site. And you can volunteer to narrate books either in their entirety or a chapter or a section or a poem, a set of poems, whatever you want to do. But through that process, not only was I practicing, but I was also learning how to properly format files and how to use my DAW. So in that, I learned a lot about myself, what I could do, what I couldn't do, what I still needed to learn. I learned a lot about my DAW and learned that I could do this, right? It probably wasn't the best narration in the world, but I learned that I could do this. And in that gave me the confidence to move forward. So I think that's a solid approach, right? Whichever way you decide to do that, to research and practice, I think that's a solid approach. And at some point, there should be some training in there too, right? So to teach us what we don't know, right? Because you don't know what you don't know. Because I could have very easily have stayed in my dining room recording audiobooks in my dining room, not realizing that there was a tremendous echo in there, unless I got the training and then discovered, oh, well, that's probably a bad thing. I should probably work on my space, right? Because we don't know really anything in the beginning. Phil says research is necessary. You never stop learning. You got to learn how to produce, edit, how to market the book, what I'm learning now, or you won't make sales. That's true. That's very true, because marketing is another aspect of this. Because if you don't market yourself, nobody knows you're there. It's not like you build a website and then everybody comes running. You're just another website. Nope. If you're not thinking about the SEO or the backlinks or the social media to direct traffic there, or promoting your website or your book or whatever it is that you're trying to get traffic to, nobody knows it's there unless you promote it. So much to learn in the beginning, right? MG Steven says, "Good morning, Angela and everyone." Good morning, MG. I did a bit of research first to see if this was for me. I made what I called my VO major to-do list, including studio setup, equipment research, purchasing, etc. That is awesome. I've never been a list person. I've never been one of those people who is super organized. I have like chaos in here, but I know where everything is. But that's awesome. I think a to-do list like that is a great idea. I actually have someone that I'm working with that we built a to-do list because she's a list person, and that's it makes it a little bit easier for her to get things done. Like, so it has due dates. We built it in Google Sheets, I believe. There was like a to-do list. It's really easy to make. So if that works for you, there's an idea for you to go in there into Google Sheets and make yourself a to-do list if that helps. Great idea though, MG. Caesar says, "I'm not sure if I'm team research or team wanting to jump in, but afraid the judges' scorecards will be 0 to middling." I don't think so, Caesar. You don't give yourself enough credit. Scott W. Field says, "I took a VO program and cut my first demo. I just didn't have the patience to research, so I jumped right in." I think that's why I stopped the research phase, because I just don't have the patience for it. It's awesome. It's pretty split, I think. Kelsey V says, "I started at the VO Dojo with Tish Hicks." Oh, that's cool. I've never heard of that one. The VO Dojo? That's a cool name. Tish Hicks sounds familiar, though. VO Dojo. I'm going to check that out. Thank you for sharing, Kelsey. MG Steven says, "Then when I reached that certain place on the VO major to-do list, I jumped in, and there is still something to learn every day." Yes. Never stop learning. We're always learning. There's always something new to learn or something new to build or to do. There's always something that could be refreshed or tweaked, or there's never a dull moment. Never. Caesar says, "A lot of times I feel like I lack talent or ability." I have to disagree with you, Caesar. Then I help someone out and get all surprised when they're like, "Wow, dude, where'd you learn that?" And I'm like, "I'm not sure." You have a natural ability, Caesar. You really need to stop picking on yourself. You are amazing. Don't ever forget that. Give yourself some credit for what you've done, Caesar. Kelsey says, "I started the VO dojo with Tish Hicks. She's the Subaru lady." Ah, and a wonderful human being in general. Okay. Scott says, "Just basic VO instruction, 4 to 5 sessions, learning the basics and preparing for my first demo." That's awesome. That is Fabu. Basic VO instruction, 4 to 5 sessions. Who did you take that with? Oh, we just got a super chat. Hold on, y'all. Oh my gosh, there's so many comments. You guys are on fire today. Sean Lester, thank you, Sean. I appreciate that. You're such a sweetheart. Sean says, "Do you remember how you felt when you decided you wanted to do this for a living? I.e., I got this deep in the gut excitement that could be a professional actor. It was my driving force." Yes, I think that moment came when I finished my LibriVox practice. I hate to call them practice, but that's essentially what they were. But when I finished those and I realized that I can format, I can edit, I can narrate, I can do this, because in the beginning, all I wanted to do was to narrate audiobooks. That's all I wanted to do. And everything else just sort of happened after that. But at that point, it was like, I'm an audiobook narrator. I can do this. That's what I wanted to do. It was an amazing feeling. And then the next thought that popped into my head was, how can I get to the point where I can do this full time? And that's a whole other conversation. But a lot of that came from what we've already discussed today, building the foundation to your business, right? And then developing a game plan to do this full time, saving a little bit of a nest egg cushion for yourself, right? have a little bit of a cushion of, 3 to 6 months or whatever it is that you need to sustain your home, the bills coming in to make sure that everything's paid while you're doing this full time in the very beginning. Having the invoicing service, having your profile set up everywhere, having your website, having everything built to the point where you can get to the point where you're full time at this, right? But it was an amazing feeling. So liberating, knowing that I could do, in my head anyway, that I could do what I wanted to do, that I could get it done. It was amazing. Nothing like it. And thank you for the super chat, Sean. I appreciate you. I know I gotta I gotta find where I left off. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, you guys. Where did I leave off? Here we go, Sunny. Excuse me. Sunny says, I'm glad that I've spent a buttload of time researching mics and software things. It was a little too much, but it's good to see how that knowledge changes for me with experience and perspective. A lot has changed from my line of thinking now versus there was a lot of apprehension. I was very timid. I was very unsure. I was not confident. I was excited, yes, but I was not as confident in myself then as I am now, right? I had to let go of all of the I can't do this and really shift my mindset to a more positive outlook. Once I did that, everything changed because you have to have thick skin running a business. Again, it's a business. You have to treat it like a business. So you have to take the bad with the good. And it really comes down to how you handle it, how you react to it, how you deal with it. Are you going to let it bug you? And the same thing goes with reviews or negative things people say anywhere, social media, whatever. Are you going to let it bug you? Just some random person saying something that isn't true? No, that's not going to stop me. That's ultimately not going to bar me from doing what I want to do. I'm not going to let that stop me. Wow, tangents are really flying wild today. I've had too much coffee. Joy says, I've fallen back to writing lately, missing recording, but going to love the hell Zachary Sunny is causing in Mer People land. Maybe a vampire will come to plague the Mer People. Dragons? Fae Queen? And that's right. We're actually talking about our audio drama this week on Thursday. I'm very excited about that. Phil says to Joy, it sounds like an amazing book. Facebook user, this is Max Palazzi. Technical question. Normalize versus hard limiter 3dB. I don't use a hard limiter. I think in the beginning I did because I didn't know what to do or what sounded better. But once I started to work with Tim Tippett's, years ago, he told me the same thing. A hard limiter just really just cuts off, the very peaks of your voice. If you can find the sweet spot for your gain and then to normalize to -3, that is really what you want to do. So you're controlling the volume instead of just cutting the tips of it off to fit where you want it to fit. So I think normalizing to -3 dB and, changing your effects rack or your chain or adjusting the gain on your microphone so you can get the end result there is a better way to go than just doing a hard limiter. Personal opinion. Rustic Hillbilly is here. Good morning. Good morning, Rustic Hillbilly. How are you? Facebook user Max Palazzi's or okay, that was supposed to be or. That's okay. I'm with you. I'm there with you. Aaron Wilhite? Am I saying that right? Wilhite? A friend in the professional music business told me voiceover narration is being replaced by AI, so I quit trying. Is there something you could tell me to refute that claim? I think, Aaron, you are in the same place that a lot of us are, and we are. What it comes down to is AI doesn't have human experience. It doesn't have human emotion. It doesn't have that human connection. So My honest, heartfelt opinion is that, yeah, I think it's going to take over some stuff. But I think what we're neglecting to realize is that for the companies and the people that are using AI voice, what their end users, what their experience with an AI voice is going to be. Because I can tell you from personal experience, anytime I watch a YouTube video or anything with an AI voice, it's grating on my nerves. And that was even before I became a voice actor. I don't like it. There's no human. I don't like it. I've never liked it. And I think that the same result is going to be felt by the end users of this content. And I think it may even come back to needing that human touch, right? So ultimately, I don't know what's going to happen. All we can do is keep moving forward, keep being human and, doing the thing, hoping for the best, having confidence in ourselves that the humans are going to win the day. But that is my humble opinion. You know, everybody's entitled to their own. But Aaron, I hope that you decide which way you're going to go, but this is something that you want to do. I would not let that stop you. I would keep going. Keep going. Keep at it. Don't throw in the towel. Writer Dude says, I haven't quite pulled the trigger yet. A bit stuck in procrastinating, but also had to finish a ton of dental work. Oh yeah, that takes precedence. That's important. I get that. Catherine's makeover. I did a bit of research and then jumped in to see if I liked it. And I needed hands-on to learn better. Things made more sense as I listened and then tried it out. Well, that's good. And the more you do it, the more things make sense because this is a brand new endeavor. I mean, let's talk about your recording software. That in and of itself was just like a completely foreign language to most of us, I think. So you're like, and then someone's trying to explain something to you and you have a question, you're like, I have no idea what you're saying. But the more that you listen and try and test and ask and hear and learn, the more these things start to make sense and little pieces of the puzzle start to fit into place. So that is another reason why I say just keep going. It will make sense. You will get better with time. Just keep going. Rich says, I read 2 books and signed up for Gravy for the Brain training along with learning from Angela and Anthony Pica. I wrote out a new plan several weeks ago with specific steps I am doing now, working on editing. Good for you. That's awesome. I think having a plan is definitely helpful for most people. Again, I'm not one of those checklist, to-do list planning. I'm not one of those people. I thrive in chaos. But I could see how it would definitely help probably a lot of people. So that's a great idea. Write a plan. Caesar says, I mean, is self-loathing a part of procrastinating? I guess it could be. Because either way, you're doing it to yourself. So stop it, Caesar. I give you the permission to move forward and to not hate yourself. Do it. You have all the faith from all of us in the group and everyone who knows you. We're all rooting for you and pushing and cheering you on. So just do it. Remember Will Hunting from Good Will Hunting? A lot of natural ability, but also a lot of distrust in himself. And then continued on down below. I'm starting to like myself more, mostly from very positive interactions with our community. And now I'm starting to think, hey, I can actually do awesome stuff. You can. So don't stop yourself from doing it. And then continued on again. And I think that impacted me more and gave me more insight than any parametric EQ tutorial or how many pieces of kit I buy and try out. Maybe research is less research and more psychological nurturing. I think we all hold ourselves back quite a bit from our own self-loathing, right? Because we are our own worst critics. That's cliche, but it's true. We are. We are the hardest on ourselves. For what? For what? Why would we hold ourselves back? Why would we do that to ourselves? Is it out of fear? Yeah. Isabel says, hello, Angela and VO peeps. Happy Tuesday. For those on voices, have you noticed that a lot of the jobs now say in perpetuity? Fair enough. Just joined 2 or 3 months ago, but noticed that now. To be completely honest, y'all, I just left voices.com. I just left. So I don't know. Yeah, you're going to see and I'm not hating on anybody, but there's been some changes there that I don't know. Yeah. But you're going to see a lot of changes in terms of in perpetuity, some of the budgets, some of the usages. But every site's going to be different, and don't limit yourself to just one. Get onto lots of different marketplaces. Sunny says to Joy, LOL sounds awesome. I'm looking forward to Thursday. Dwight says, I said researched on the poll, but in reality, I've been doing both. Yeah, I think I do a little bit of both too, but I was more of the just jump in and get it done. Isabel says, September will be my always be learning month. Signed up for an AD course. I'll do a 4-day masterclass with Vin Jiang. Am I saying that right? He's awesome. And a diploma in radio and podcast production. Budget gone. But it sounds like it's well spent. That's awesome. Guys are getting some training. Nice. Scott says, took my courses about 10 years ago. I was also dealing with a number of health issues at the time, so I was able to do 1 or 2 gigs. 2 years ago, I was finally able to put together a PVC booth. That's awesome. All right, so you're still at it 2 years later? I hope so. Janelle. What's up, Janelle? Morning, Angela and awesome Angelinians. I did research and got stuck there for years. Realized that I was just using it as an excuse out of fear. Now I do both, jump in and research. Well stated, Janelle. I think that is the most succinct. I'm going to put a pin. This right here, guys. Gold. Good job, Janelle. Caesar says, good God, what's in this fruit? I should stop. No, you should share is what you need to do. Cotton fruit? Oh my God, that sounds amazing. Terry's here. Terry says, jumped in a state of cluelessness. Landing page up, halfway through narrating my book, LinkedIn profile updated, and first Fiverr gig is posted. Still clueless. You're not still clueless. There's a lot to learn. You've already done quite a bit. So be happy. Give yourself some grace. Celebrate those little wins and keep moving forward. You're not clueless. Don't hate on yourself. It's not cluelessness. That is baby steps forward, right? So keep going. Just keep walking, one foot after the other. Sunny says, I forget that some people don't like to research. For my ADHD brain, that part is going to be a buffet. But yes, can't always be at the buffet. Yeah, and everybody's different. And that in that, everybody's journey is going to be different because we all learn different ways. We all do research. We all are more comfortable with information being served up to us in different ways. I mean, we're in my brain schedules, right? The time we have available, the monies, the capital available to invest. Everybody's going to be different. Every journey is going to be different. So if you find yourself, starting your journey and your path is different from somebody else's, that doesn't mean that it's wrong. Everybody's journey is going to be different. Everybody's path to what they call success is going to be different because everybody has a different definition of success, right? So go win your own race or run your own race. What is that saying? But do it the way that you need to do it. It's going to take as much time as it's going to take. Just have patience. Give yourself some grace. Celebrate all the wins and just keep going. That is the major part of this. That is the biggest part of this. Just keep going. No matter what happens, just keep going. You will adapt and overcome if you just keep going. Don't let fear take you out of that race. I completely skipped your your comment, Caesar. To Janelle, years? I heard one sub 5-minute demo from you and was immediately enthralled. How did it take you years? I have to ask the same question, Janelle. How did it take you years? You have an amazing voice. It's a balance because there's always something new to learn, which is why I'm grateful for you in this. Oh, you talking to me or Caesar? Probably both. I hope both. Because Caesar's amazing too. You are amazing, Janelle. Terry said, jumped in a state of cluelessness. Landing page up with 3 demos posted, halfway through narrating my book. LinkedIn profile updated, and first Fiverr gig is still posted. I think this is a dupe, but you are not clueless. You are not clueless, Terry. Phil says, I'm a peace and quiet kind of guy, so being regularly on social media is not my forte, much like marketing a book, much less marketing a book. And I get that. Believe it or not, you guys, I am an introvert and I feel all of these comments. It takes a lot of energy to do what I do online. It's hard, but I know that it is the nature of the beast. It's part of owning a business. You have to be visible. Commercials, ads, those are ways to be visible. If you don't want to do that, then I always push social media because it's free. All it costs you is time and maybe a couple of baby steps out of your comfort zone. But the social media content that you create doesn't have to be all voiceover related. It could be yourself. Make it known that you are a voice actor, an audiobook narrator, but show something with your personality. If you have pets, if you're goofy, if your family does goofy things, do that. If you have other skills and interests, share that. But that is a free way to be available or visible online. That is a way to market yourself without marketing yourself, right? The only other thing that you have available after that are ads, right? And getting onto podcasts and doing those kinds of things. But all of that also takes energy for an introvert. But it's something that is a necessary part of this, unfortunately. Tiff's Stellar reads, excuse me, I'm just understanding this industry, so I know I've got to build a foundation and learn first to see if this is for me. Tiff, I think you should start to build a foundation and just go. Ready, fire, aim. Ready? Got a foundation, have an idea, do it, fire, and then, revise your target and aim later. Go. Just go. Skyland says, Angela, I made $5,000 in my first year in VO business. That's good. Fiverr only. Do you think that's on the right track or too slow? No, I think that's pretty good for your first year. Absolutely. And then year 2, year 3, year 4, year 5 will just continue to grow because you're going to build repeat clients. You're going to have a little bit of a book of clients that you build, people that come back to you year after year. That is another reason why I say just keep at it. Just keep going because things do tend to build. You get better and you have more clients, and then they come back. I mean, all of that stuff takes time to build and grow. So keep going. Yes, Skyland, keep going. What time is it? Okay, I've got to be somewhere in about an hour and a half, so we're going to have to wrap this up here pretty soon. Masonry Construction says, jump in, learn, but keep your day job. Yes. Too much stress if you rely on VO alone and are new. Yes, jump in and learn, even if it's part-time. If this is like a side hustle for you and you're just kind of feeling it out, fine. But if you have a day job, keep it. And for me, if you don't know my story, it took me somewhere between 1.5 years to 2 years before I went full-time with this. So, and some people it takes longer, some people it takes less time. Everybody's journey is going to be different. Run your own race. Hat Powser says, you really want me to try to pronounce that? Is a tropical fruit native to maritime Southeast Asia. I got to see a picture. I wonder what it looks like. Dwight says, most of the resources in VO don't address the business part of the career. You're right. This weekend, my business advisor helped me quantify all the tasks and groups of tasks that are overwhelming me. And it is overwhelming. It can be. But if you write them all down, and if you have an advisor, better still, because you have someone that will direct you to what is, will help you to prioritize these things and also to point out things that maybe you wouldn't even think of if you didn't have somebody helping you, right? What things were important to target first. So that's great. And there is a lot. There's a lot. Janelle says to Caesar, yes, years. Procrastinating is real. Well, I'm glad that you're not procrastinating anymore, Janelle. MJ Rod says, hi, Angela and other views in the biz. Happy to be here. Happy to have you. Been learning the past 2 years and between auditioning. I'm planning to join your platinum group in September. Oh, that's great. Just finishing up a course. That's fabulous. We'd love to have you. We'd love to have you. If you want to be part of our audio drama that we're working on, probably sooner rather than later, because I think Joya still has some characters to fill. Because we've got a lot of characters. But that's great. We'd love to have you. Dwight says, I used to own a sign company, so business operations is not new to me. But having an outside perspective helped me prioritize and group all the tasks to succeed and continue as I'm jumping in. That's awesome. See how our life experiences help? Mm-hmm. Terry says there's nothing like a sour mango in the Philippines. I've never had a sour mango, but I like mango with a lot of like tahine and like I love like chili and mango. Oh my gosh. Tiff Stellar Reed says, Angela, how do you get on your level? How do I get on your level as a VO? Time. It took me a little over 5 years to get to where I am. So just keep going. And mindset is everything. You seriously have so much knowledge, and how long did it take you to learn everything? I'm still learning. I still don't know everything. I'm never going to claim that I know everything. I don't. But I'm learning every day. And again, this is over 5 years worth of, time spent doing what I'm doing every day for the last 5 years. So this is a lot of just hands-on experience that you get from doing it, from just keep going, right? So do it. Just go. And he says, quick question. I'm on my work computer now. I was watching from my phone before. Does Isotope's mouth declick remove every single mouth noise for you? I feel like I'm still manually removing a lot. The mouth declick plugin has a slider on it where you can tell it how much and how sensitive you want it to be. I think mine is set at 4. So it's not going to take out some of the T's and some of the hard consonants that are supposed to be in there. There are some that I still have to manually remove, but you don't want it to be super heavy. Just like, any other noise reducer. You don't want it to be super heavy because it just makes you sound like you're talking like this if you use any plugin way too heavy, right? But no, there's still quite a few that I have, because I'm just clicky anyway. But there's still quite a few that I have to manually remove, but it still removes like the bulk of them, 70 to 80% of them. And that's still a blessing. That still saves so much time in the end, right? Caesar says to Terry, absolutely. I'm also very much into apple mangoes. The taste is indescribable. It's like an apple with an identity crisis. I've never had an apple mango. I love mangoes though. I'll have to try that. LibriVox, I did that as well. Yeah, I liked working with LibriVox. Aaron says, I answered the poll. I have researched for several weeks. Volunteering sounds great. I read the news for Lighthouse for the Blind decades ago. Yes, I think in the beginning for me, I was too apprehensive and timid. I didn't want to charge people for my incompetence, right, on ACX or anywhere else. So I started with LibriVox. And again, with that, I learned so much. and then built confidence in knowing that I could do it just in that one simple thing. So LibriVox was huge for me. Phil says to Joya, looks like you'll be able to help Annie. Uh, just happened. Laura Lee Jingo says, I'm in radio. My on-air shift got shifted. I'm still there. A friend told me to check out ACX. April, I started to look into it and found Angela through the search. I took time building profiles, etc. ACX is a great place to start, but again, don't limit yourself to only ACX. That is only one platform. There are lots of different audiobook platforms or ways to find audiobook work. So don't ever rely on just one single platform to find work. Don't, because you never know. What happens if it goes away? What are you going to do? Right? So start building a presence online through social media with your website, get onto several different platforms. And then, ultimately what we want is to have direct traffic come to us, right? But with all these platforms out there, it's a good way to build a foundation for yourself. Right? So keep at it, Laura Lee. Colette says, think you'll ever do a webinar on setting up the hardware and peripherals? It's easy for you to say, Colette. I'm not really like an IT kind of a person, so I don't know, but I think I'm better suited to probably helping individuals with their individual problems to an extent, because I'm not an IT person by any means, but I can probably give some suggestions for certain situations. But we have talked about possibly doing a webinar on audiobooks. And then I think, in that would be editing too, I suppose. So that might be something that could be coming. I just have to maybe wrap my head around what that would look like. Terry says marketing is sharing. Absolutely necessary. Caesar says, I probably would be stuck in the research phase if it wasn't for Joya's book series, which was kind of like my being pushed in the pool. I had no idea I had talent until I was told I had it. Well, I'm glad that you're there. I don't know if the book series or the book would be what it would be without you. Then Caesar says, I was like, holy heck, I can swim. Who'da thunk it? Joya says to Caesar, you have a paying job. Therefore, you are a professional. Stop with self-doubt and just do it. Okay, the coffee is going to be set down for that one. Joya, chef's kiss. Well said, Joya. Caesar, I could reach across. Stop it. EV8642, researching, especially the production side. I wrote and recorded the dialogue for several training videos at work and loved it. But I went to a studio to record. I had no idea how much goes into it. There is a lot. And it's worth it if you really enjoy what you do and you want to be self-sufficient. You want to be like a one-stop shop studio to keep learning. And then once you have the voiceover stuff down and the technical aspect down, then you can start to incorporate video. You can start to incorporate music. You can start to incorporate, because they all sort of go hand in hand, right? And then you could really start to build a business and all these new things that you're learning. A little bit of design, right? You never know how far it can actually go. Scott says voice coaches of Albany. Oh, like local. Okay, like local courses. Right Track says, arrived late to the party, but glad I made it. Good luck to all of you, and thank you, Angela, for your advice and guidance. Well, I'm glad that you're here, Right Tracks. I appreciate you. Colette says, Caesar, you're very talented. Don't undermine yourself. There you go, Caesar. I'm sensing a theme. Are you? MG Steven says, I use the Notes app on my iPhone. Then wherever I was, I had it. You can set it up to move everything you check off to the bottom of the list. It's been about a year now, so it's mostly a wish list. Oh, that's cool. So then you have like, what do they call those? The coulda, shoulda, maybe could haves. The must haves, could haves, right? That's cool. Same thing goes for Google Sheets, because you could have that available on your Google if you're Android person, PC person, much like myself. Caesar says to Joya, I know. Still surprises me at times, but now more focused on two things: proper delivery and business expansion. It's very good to have goals to attain. Goals are important. Should never give up on your goals. Phil says, guys, please let me know if you can see my promo or if YouTube blocked it again. They're always going to block links if that's what you're trying to put in there, Phil. I have to get through these next comments quickly because I need to be out of here soon. Caesar says, thank you to Colette. Honestly, I wouldn't have known until I joined this community. And now I feel like I can achieve anything I want to achieve, including deep sea fishing for some reason. Facebook user, this is, I don't know. It's not showing me. I'm not sure who this is. I'm just starting narration, but considering that AI is creeping in now, increasing competition, will I still be able to get enough work and make a living out of VO in the next 2 to 3 years? That is something that I cannot foresee. I do not know, but all we can do is keep being human and keep hoping for the best. But I don't consider it complete competition because, again, AI does not have human emotion. It doesn't understand being human. So it won't have that, the acting, the empathy, the emotion. It doesn't have that. Miss V's World. I want so badly to do VO for a living, but I'm in a data analytics course, so I can have that cushion. The jobs I've had haven't been enough, but I refuse to give up. There you go. And that is the attitude that you need. And it's okay. I mean, do both. I mean, there's nothing wrong with having multiple skill sets, right? VO and then data analytics and then some marketing and then whatever else you want to do. Multiple streams of income is not bad. It's not a bad thing, but good. Keep going. Tiff Stella reads, I had to leave for a sec, but on another question, do you have any VO for indie authors? Do you any VO for indie authors? If so, how do you market them, or did they just find you? Yes, I have produced a lot of indie audiobooks, a lot of them, and a lot of those people have found me here through my YouTube channel and then contacted me on my website or Upwork or Fiverr. Those are the places those people have found me. Hat says, if I can click it, yes, AI narration sounds like chocolate yogurt. Glowen says, good afternoon to Angela. And chat, sorry, I'm late to the party. No nachos yet. Nope, no nachos yet. Aaron says, thank you, Angela. You're inspirational. Oh, stop. Caesar says, hi, Glowen. I'm eating fruit. He's eating cotton fruit, which sounds amazing. Facebook user, this is Vanessa McVeigh. I agree. AI on YouTube is like listening to Rosie on the Jetson. It's worse. At least Rosie had personality and was narrated by a human. Steve VoiceOver says, good morning. Just call me Angela of the morning. Angel, just touch my cheek before you... Oh, God. No serenading. Terry says, I'm sorry, I have to cruise through these. I have to be out of here in like 20 minutes. Terry says to Aaron, movie theaters were supposed to kill the TV. Kindle was going to kill printed books. YouTube was going to kill schools. All that to say, don't read too much into it. Well put. Yep. And Midjourney and some of those other ones were supposed to kill photographers' jobs, right? Video killed the radio star. No, it didn't. Glowen McIntyre, I can retire. What is wrong with me? After this live stream, I will attempt to put a front and roof sound wall in today. Well, that's good. That's awesome. Isabel says, breakthrough moment for you, Caesar. The lady has spoken. I think we all have spoken, Caesar. Dwight says, Caesar, do yourself a huge favor and take this moment to be brave and prove your worth, not to us, but to yourself. You've got this. I love that. There's another great comment for you, Caesar. Rich says, Angela, I would be glad to send you my plan so you could maybe develop a basic guide to share with new people. That would be great, Rich. That would be fabulous. To share what you have built with those who probably need it. Right? Because I am not a plan or list person. Isaac says, procrastinating makes you feel in control because you know what happens next. Yes. Embrace the chaos and start doing. Yes. Feel in control because you know what happens, but you're afraid of what you can't control. Right? So it really comes down to fear and control. Fear being root. Right? But don't let fear decide your fate. You decide your fate. You decide your destiny. Caesar says, thanks to Isabel. Thanks, Dwight. Let me first say that being in a nurturing and supportive environment is new to me, as I've fairly recently escaped on oppressive and abusive environment. Well, you know what, Caesar? That's it. You get a hug. Virtual hugs. Come on. That's why I love this community. Scott says, yes, I am. Matter of fact, I got hired for an audiobook back in December. That's awesome. Good job. Caesar says, second thing I'd like to say is that I wouldn't be where I am with the studio and more confidence in my ability without everyone's encouragement, an occasional, but also encouraging kick in the butt. I think you need more of that. Scott says some of the procrastination is also afraid to make mistakes, and the fear will affect my future performances and standing in VO. But you know what? We all make mistakes. We're human. We make them. It's just part of what happens. What is important is how you deal with that. Do you let it hold you back? Does the fear of making another one or just dwelling on what's happened in the past keep you from moving forward? Heck no. Just keep going. No one's going to look at your name and go, "Oh, that's the guy that made that mistake 5 years ago." Nobody's going to know. Just keep going. Writer Dude, following up on Caesar on his comments. Okay, Kelsey says also, it's okay to make mistakes. We all do. Even pros are still learning. And the more you allow yourself to fail, the easier it gets to take risks. Builds up your resilience. Kelsey, dropping the bombs. Writer Dude. Yes, self-loathing, self-doubt is one of the biggest barriers. Part of a problem for me has been I did some pretty awesome stuff a few years back, at least to some people, where you continued, but my life changed big time almost 14 years ago. And due to an error in navigating that change, ended up moving back with my family. Not easy to deal with people who see you as the person you were 35 years ago on a daily basis, no matter how well-intentioned some of them may be. Wow. Yeah. Steve, voiceover says, Phil, I understand you. I was on the sidewalk of the introverts. Later, I learned that I just don't like people. But it's a business. Once you are encouraged, there is no turning back. Love it. Dwight says, I've been creating a plan that helps define the tasks that need to be done in this VO journey. Take tasks and prioritize them into 2-week chunks, usually 5 tasks mixed with training and projects. I think that's a good mix. That's a good mix. I like that. Rich says, Angela, when is your new Fiverr course coming out? Fiverr keeps changing stuff. Every time I think it's done, they keep changing or adding something. Good gosh. Joya says 44 characters and running. See, Joya needs people. We need some bodies. We have some characters to fill. Facebook user, Allie Cat. What's up, Allie? Such great advice. Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Hat says, that's why I'm a hermit, Writer Dude. Unfortunately, those folks generally do not want you to change and will do everything they can to hold you back from it. Do it anyway. Love it. Writer Dude says, Gravy for the Brain has a lot of information on the business end of voiceover. Yes, they do. You guys stop with all the comments. I can't get through all of these. I have to go. And I feel bad for leaving them said undone or unsaid. Writer Dude, street vendors in LA sell mangoes and chili all over the place, especially in summer. I love mango and chili. Hat Powser says, think about Mexico, Writer Dude. It's cheap. And then they sell those mangoes there. Caesar says, webinar on setting up hardware and peripherals might be able to help if it's window-based. The thing is, there are so many configuration parameters will require much planning. Yes, I think that's more of an individual case-by-case basis. Scott Field says it is also known as Creative Voice Development Group run by Dave Bourgeois. Bourgeois? I know I'm probably saying that wrong. Kamikaze. Hi, Angela. How you been? Been a minute. I haven't been as motivated. Sorry to be a negative nunu, although some people like my voice, but I don't know. Mine is sultry. I don't hear many like mine. Really? Do you know what you could do with a sultry voice? Stop. Keep going. There is a need for every voice. I mean, Caesar, if you guys could hear Caesar's voice, good God. Scott Field says, not necessarily. They have students from all over the country. Lamar Harmon is here. Hello, good vibes. Amanda Becker says, just got my first job with ACX with a lot of help from you. Question, I can't get the author to respond to any of my messages asking for feedback. How much of a red flag is this? It's not. It's not. A lot of people just don't have or cannot take the time to give tons of feedback. They just don't. If it's something that is necessary for the project to move forward, you can get ACX involved. But if you're just looking for feedback, you can't expect someone to give you tons of feedback. In your situation, if they're not giving you feedback, just keep going with what you've already submitted and move on. Miss V's World says, Isaac embracing the chaos. Dwight says, smooth waters don't make great sailors. That's right. Glowin says to Kamikaze, are you an Angelus Platinum group? I don't think so. If so, upload some samples on our associated Discord channel. I don't think that Kamikaze is. Colette says for Caesar. Scott says, also have to get into the mindset is just move on and keep auditioning and not waiting for a response from each one. Yes, just keep auditioning. Don't wait for feedback because you more than likely won't get it. Just keep auditioning. Caesar says, was that a hug? Yes, we're all hugging you, Caesar. Glowin says to Joya, if I can't get my settings corrected after my soundproofing today, I'll make a sample or two to upload. Scott says, yes, that's it. That's it. Okay, you guys, I have got to go because I have places to be. It's half day at school. Got to get the kiddo. But I appreciate everybody spending some time here with me today. I hope this was helpful. We'll be here next week. Same bat time, same bat channel. And again, I appreciate everybody being here, and I'll see you all next week. Bye.